first place. I gave him first place, and all that homework just began to be like this. It got easier. What I thought would be more difficult, it actually got easier. Lisa, tag, you're it. Go.
So this is my second time hearing this sermon because, as you know, before y'all hear it, we go through the run through. And so as we were driving into church this morning, he said, "Well, why don't you stand up there and share your story too?" Okay. So here I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what I will say about choosing to put God first is, first of all, is that it hasn't always been easy, but it's always been worth it. Number one. And there has been no good thing in my life that I haven't had to fight for, whether that be my relationships with my family, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with God. All of those things I've had to fight for. And so I will tell you all, the moment that in my adult life, and young people, I think this is apropos, in my adult life when I decided to put him first, it was after I had experienced, up until that point, the greatest failure in my life. I had been at Syracuse working on my PhD, and I had written a dissertation, and I had finally gotten to the place where I accepted the fact that I was not going to get my PhD from this institution, that I had failed. And so that to me was an incredible moment where I realized that I had been putting the wrong thing first. I had been putting my PhD first. I had been putting my identity as this person who's got this doctorate first. So when I moved to Nashville and I decided, you know what, I'm really going to put him first, everything shifted. And so what I learned in putting him first is that it is a total experience. So putting him first, I could intellectualize putting him first, right? I could say, okay, Lord, I'm going to put you first when I pray. I'm going to pray 10 minutes, and then on Sunday nights I'm going to come, and then on Wednesday nights, it was a very intellectual, but I hadn't given my heart to the idea of putting him first. But it was when I put my heart and my mind behind this idea of putting him first that everything fell into place. Not just with meeting Jason, but had I not failed in Syracuse and said no, I wouldn't be here with you all today. And being with you all, sharing, learning from you all, growing in my faith with this body has been one of the most edifying experiences of my life. And so when I say to you to say no and to recognize that your failure perhaps is just an opportunity for you to say yes in other ways.
Amen.
And so putting him first means putting him first in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, in your actions. And when we say we put him first, my question to all of us, and to Jason and I, we have this conversation all the time, but what does that look like in our everyday life? So as you're thinking about putting him first, my question to you is, what does that look like for you?
Amen. That was good sermon.
You might have to look at some detail. All right, so you know we were talking about God's math earlier, okay? And how God's math doesn't work out. I mean, it doesn't make sense to our math, right? So, I don't know if you know it or not, but like in the past year, there's been some changes in Lisa's workflow and work schedule and things. Contracts their contracts are finishing. New contracts are slow to come in and come around, and so we had a choice, because when your income begins to change, you've got choices that you have to make. You're going to say, okay, have I put myself in a position where I can put God first, or do I find myself in a position where I have to think about him third or fourth or sixth or whatever the case may be? So when we saw that things were going to begin to change, we began to make some adjustments on our end. But where we didn't make adjustments was where God was concerned. So what I'm saying, as her salary decreased, we chose to stay steady with what we were giving in tithes and offerings and our commitment to CTV. We didn't let that go at all. Zero, zilch, none. But what we did decide to do was let some other things go, like cable. You don't quit. How does it go? You don't quit unless it's cable. Right? You know the commercial? You don't quit unless it's cable. So we began to pare down in those types of areas. Things that just brought us a little bit of comfort or whatever the case may be. We let go of the temporal so that we could hold on to the eternal. And we're here today to stand side by side to tell you that as we put our hold on the eternal, and with the decrease in her salary, we've not missed the beat.
Amen.
I'm telling you, God has come through time and time again. And when we got to a position where we thought that okay, we're going to have to start making some different moves here, right? When we get to that position, something else pops up, fills the gap. And we get to the end of that one, something else, God puts his hand in our life. He says, okay, this is going to be taken care of because I've got this coming up right here. And so from time and time again, like 4 or 5 times over the course of a year now, God is just moved by his wonderful power, by the way only he can move. And he's filled in every gap that we could have ever imagined. He's not left us short. We've not gone without. We've not stopped eating what we're eating. We've not stopped putting 93 gas in my car. You know what I'm saying? Like I just haven't gone without. But here's the thing. I believe that if we would have made different decisions, when we first were presented with this possibility of decrease, we would have made a different decision. I think the outcome would have been different. I think something. Not, I don't think. I know that when you put God first, God can't change.
Amen.
Amen? God doesn't think like we think. Right? And God wants to be first. He can't be second. Amen? Amen. I guess that was it.